Let's talk Leeds United. Fan base are losing their minds online about transfers. Sunderland keep beating you to your transfer targets. Fan base don't trust Pirro, you don't trust Melier, and you don't trust Farker. So these are 3 transfers I think that realistically you can get in and hopefully lift the fan base's mood, because it's not looking great right now. So obviously I mentioned Melier, I mentioned Pirro, who scored 19 goals last season, so I don't know why the fan base really don't want him, but you need a striker, you need a goalkeeper. I'll get onto those 2, but let's start off with the man who's on the thumbnail. So quite obviously, we're talking Stack. It looks like personal terms have agreed. If that's the case, and they're only asking for 20 mil, pay that money now. I think you're looking at a player who should probably be getting picked up by someone like Spurs, who are in need of a decent 6. His defensive numbers are off the charts, yes, but to be fair, that's not even what I like most about this guy. Bro, the guy's athletic. He will drive at defenses. And I think he's what, like 6'4"? So realistically, if you see this guy coming, driving at you with the ball, with pace, because he's not slow either, bro, just like a train. That's one of my favourite attributes from a big centre midfielder. The one who get on the ball and just transition from defence to attack by physically pushing his way through every single player that gets in his path. Honestly, I think if you pay 20 mil, you'll double that money in a season. Shout if I'm wrong, tell me, innit? Because the back and forth is a conversation, but me, being a passionate football fan, I just think this guy is a steal at 20 million euros, and I hope you get him. I want to see him in the Premier League. I want to see him do well, and hopefully this helps your team progress and move forward. Let's talk about the goalkeeping situation. All I see online from these supporters is complaint after complaint after complaint about Melier. I'm not going to pretend like I watched every Leeds game last season and, I know his game through and through. But from what I have seen, see why you're nervous. Obviously, if you're going into next season hoping to stay in the Premier League, which, look, it's not going to be easy. It's a tough league. You've been there before. You know that. Your history is Premier League football. But right now, it's tougher than ever to stay up when you go up. So is he the right goalkeeper to, keep you there? Maybe not. So then if you're looking at replacement options, for me, I think there's 2 that come to mind. First one is Aaron Ramsdale, who I really do think is a very good goalkeeper. I think at Southampton last season, he didn't have a great season. But the seasons before that, when he was at Arsenal, the guy looked great. Golden Glove winner, if I remember right. So, look, the talent's obviously there. England international. It's very experienced, ticks a lot of boxes, but the issue I have with it is I'm reading 25 mil. Pretty sure when he went to Southampton it was around £18 million, if I remember right. How does he come off a worse season and demand more money? That doesn't make sense to me. I think he is a very, very good goalkeeper, and I do think he takes Leeds up a level, but I just think that the money that Southampton are asking for him right now is outrageous. It's cheeky. So then the other option, who I think you'd get for a lot less, hasn't got as long on their contract and is a very, very experienced and high-level goalkeeper, is Sam Johnston. Look, I know last season he didn't really touch the pitch, but we're looking at a goalkeeper here who has been there and done it at the top level for many, many years. Currently, yes, he is at a number 2 role at Wolves, but I think that's a club who'd more than likely be willing to cash in on him. And that's a goalkeeper who I think would snatch your hand off at the opportunity to be number 1 somewhere. I really don't see the downsides in bringing in a player like that. I think he's more than good enough. He's more than capable. It was only a couple of seasons ago he was getting linked with the likes of Arsenal, if I remember right. For me, I think Sam Johnson would probably be my first choice. Only reason being is just the price that you're paying, the experience levels. Yes, Aaron Ramsdale is a very, very experienced goalkeeper as well, but I just think the money that they're asking for Southampton is, like I said, man, it's outrageous. All right, so lastly, we're looking at number 9, right? I understand that there's a difference between Championship football and Premier League football, but I do think that Pirro hasn't done anything wrong to not be given the opportunity. Now, I'm not saying he's going to get you another 19-goal return in the Premier League. I'm very doubtful of that, but if he can get you 10 goals next season, I think that's a win. So realistically then, in that case, I think you're looking for a striker who has experience, who's not coming in demanding to be starting every week, but can still chip in with another 5 to 7 goals in a season. In that case, I think the smart option, and someone who I think I've seen you linked with potentially, is Callum Wilson. Is he the same player he was when he first joined Newcastle? Is he the same player he was when he was at Bournemouth? No, definitely not. That was a few years ago. Realistically now, like I said, all you want is just a goal return. And this guy can give you that. Look, I know, everyone wants a 15, 20 goal striker, but if you're in a position where you can get even 7 out of Pirro and 7 out of your other striker, it's probably enough goals to keep you in the league if you're defensively sound enough. But let me know, am I wrong? Is Callum Wilson unambitious? I've been PMFC Miles. Thanks for locking in.